In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In 6 days he shaped the universe from nothing. On the first day he separated light from darkness. On the second he created the firmament. On the third he caused dry land and vegetation to emerge. On the fourth he set the sun, the moon, and the stars in place. On the fifth he filled the waters with fish and the sky with birds. On the sixth he created the land animals, and finally the human being in his own image and likeness. On the seventh day he rested, making it holy. Adam was formed from the dust of the earth and placed in the Garden of Eden. Then from his rib, God drew Eve, his companion.
The serpent lived in the garden, the most cunning of all creatures. It tempted Eve into eating the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the only fruit forbidden by God. Eve ate it and gave some to Adam as well. Their eyes were opened. They discovered their own nakedness and hid from God. As punishment, God cursed the serpent, condemned Eve to the pains of childbirth and submission to her husband, and Adam to the toil of labor. Both were driven out of Eden, with an angel and a flaming sword guarding the way back. From their union were born Cain and Abel. Cain, a farmer, and Abel, a shepherd. Both offered sacrifices to God. Abel's was accepted, Cain's was not. Consumed by jealousy, Cain killed his brother. God condemned him to wander as an exile, but placed a mark of protection on him so that no one would kill him. From Cain descended a lineage of builders, musicians, and craftsmen.
As the generations passed, the corruption of humanity grew until it reached the heavens. God regretted having created man and decided to wipe out every living being with a great flood. Only Noah found favor in his eyes, for he was a righteous man. God commanded him to build an ark of cypress wood and bring into it his family and a pair of every animal species. For 40 days and 40 nights, the waters submerged the earth, covering even the mountain peaks. When the waters receded, the ark came to rest on Mount Ararat. Noah first released a raven, then a dove. On the third sending, the dove returned with an olive branch, a sign that the earth had emerged again. Noah came down from the ark, offered sacrifices to God, and God established with him an eternal covenant, placing the rainbow in the sky as his sign. Never again would he destroy the earth with water.
The men, who all spoke the same language, gathered on the plain of Shinar and decided to build a city with a tower that would reach the sky, to make a name for themselves and not be scattered across the earth. God came down to see the work and, seeing what united humanity could accomplish, confused their languages so that they could no longer understand one another. The construction stopped, and the people scattered across the face of the whole earth. That city was called Babel, which echoes the verb balal, meaning to confuse. The story then shifts to Abram, a man from Ur of the Chaldeans. God commanded him to leave his land, his family and his father's house to go to a land he would show him. He promised to make him a great nation, to bless him and to make him a source of blessing for all peoples. Abram obeyed without hesitation. With him were his wife Sarai and his nephew Lot. They arrived in the land of Canaan, then went down to Egypt during a famine. In time, Abram and Lot separated because their flocks were too numerous. Lot chose the fertile plain of the Jordan, near Sodom. God renewed his promise to Abram several times, yet Abram had no children. Sarai was barren.
So Sarai gave Abram her Egyptian slave Hagar as a concubine, and from her Ishmael was born. But God had something else in store. When Abram was 99 years old, he changed his name to Abraham and Sarai's to Sarah, and announced that Sarah would bear a son. Abraham laughed in disbelief. Sarah, hidden at the tent entrance, laughed too. But God kept his promise. Isaac was born, whose name means "he laughs." God then tested Abraham by commanding him to sacrifice Isaac on the altar. Abraham climbed Mount Moriah with his son, bound him, and was about to raise the knife when the angel of God stopped him. "Do not lay your hand on the boy. Now I know that you fear God." In Isaac's place, a ram caught nearby was sacrificed. This scene, the Akedah, is one of the most powerful in all of Scripture.